Hey lady, my name is Brittany Cantor-Barb. I'm an executive coach and consultant, and today I'm going to give you everything that you need to prep for and thrive during a layoff. Yes, you heard that right. But before we dive in, do me two favors. Go right now, subscribe to this channel so you never miss any more content that we bring to you each and every day so you can dominate like the badass that you are. And then turn on your notifications. That way you will get this in real time as we publish it. Just like you, I have been there so many times, and you walked into work and you got that dreaded pink slip. I know exactly how this feels. I want to tell you though, you are not alone. This does not mean you are shit. This does not mean you need to beat yourself up, because that's what I used to do, and that is a really miserable place to live. So I am going to talk you through my 3-step process, my PowerHER formula for success, on how you can absolutely thrive during a layoff. And the very first step is commanding your power. So obviously I already diluted this before, as I want to challenge you on the mindset. So many of us, once we are laid off, we literally start catastrophizing everything, right? They've laid me off because I pissed off Joe, or because I did this, because I didn't hire the right people, on and on and on and on. And I'm not saying, lady, that you didn't mess something up, right? But hear me out. If you did, it's because you took a risk. So you are going to fail when you are taking risk. It is inevitable. The most amazing, successful, multi-gazillion dollar CEOs out there, guess what? They screwed up a lot. So I want you to do your very, very best to wrap your mind around the whole idea that because you were laid off, something that was outside of your control of being laid off right there and then, does not mean you cannot dominate. It actually means the exact opposite of that. So we call that commanding our power and reclaiming the powerful, authentic badass that you are, okay? All right, lady, now this is step number 2. This is demanding your power, and this is the actual how-to. So my number one question that I get asked when it comes to a layoff is, what can I get for severance? So I'm gonna give you 2 steps in that. The very first step is you should have negotiated severance when you took the job, right? So if you didn't do that today, obviously you're laid off, you're in job search, and want you to make it your mission, you will put your severance terms into your next job offer. Yes, this is common. People do it each and every day. I spent 16 years in corporate America, in HR, in people management, so I've negotiated this from both sides of the table. And I promise you, director level, senior director, executive director and above, they negotiate severance going in. So if you didn't do that, you are now in a position where you don't hold all the power, right? And it's a little more challenging to negotiate that, but I want to tell you exactly how you can do that. So when they come to you and they say, hey, thanks but no thanks, and they give you that pink slip and they send you on your way, most of the time if they are going to offer a severance, they're going to give you something up front. This is just like any job offer. You're gonna negotiate that shit, right? Especially if you're a woman over 40. If you're a woman that is in a minority class, right? All of these laws that we have that do protect us against that, because that shit is real, right? You have, if you fit any of those, you have 21 days, 21 days to consider that severance. And the very first thing you need to do, you need an attorney to look at that, okay? You must have that. This is a tiny, tiny fraction on the investment. I've had so many women that I've interacted with in corporate that legitimately don't do this because they're like, oh, I don't want to spend the money. Lady, this is like $500. I promise you spend that $500, will come back tenfold. The second thing that you need to do is work with a coach that understands severance, that understands how to negotiate. So I'm here to tell you that if you're an executive director, you're a VP, SVP, EVP, C-suite, if you're not getting at least 1 year of severance out of this, something is very, very wrong. Here's why. So many people in the severance, you have a non-compete. right? Because they're still legal in many, many states. So if this organization is literally limiting your right to work, which means you can't go to the competition, which is your easiest way to get a job next, for a year, they need to compensate you for that year. So there's so many strategies when it comes to that, but I promise you, you do not have to accept the first offer and you've got 3 weeks. Then you get 7 more days. Even you make a decision, you can go back on your decision after that. You have more than enough time to find an attorney to do this, hire a coach that does just that. All right, ladies, this is your final step, and that is called landing your power. So to recap, what we've done so far is 1, we've wrapped our whole mindset around just because you're laid off does not mean that you are a terrible executive and you have to change everything about you. Quite the opposite. 2, we gave you the actual how-to. You're going to negotiate for a year of severance because you don't want to just take any job, right? After a layoff, you want the job. So you're going to have that year of runway. You're not going to need the whole year, but you need that because of your non-compete that most likely that you have. The last step is landing your power. So many people really get bogged down in all these tiny details after a layoff, like, oh my God, I should update my LinkedIn. Do I have to tell people that I was laid off like other employers? Like, that's not gonna make me marketable. All of these things. And I want you to completely wipe your mind around that, because true, powerful, badass executive women don't go out there and volunteer information like that, right? You're not gonna say in the middle of a job interview, oh, hey, just so you know, I really fucked up at my last organization and they laid me off, right? You're not gonna say that. And legitimately, with you volunteering that type of information, you do just that, right? So anytime that you're asked, why are you searching for a role right now? You are still upfront and honest. I'm not telling you to be unethical. You actually say, hey, I am looking for a new challenge. That's exactly what you're doing, is looking for a new challenge, right? You're still being honest, you're still being upfront, but you're saying that in a way, I want more, and you do want more, and this is how I want to crush it for your organization. That is how you build uncheckable confidence. The fact that you were laid off is absolutely fucking irrelevant. Do not go down that rabbit hole. This is exactly what you need to land in the job, because that is exactly what you deserve.